Hello, my name is Isabella Perez, Recreation Leader for the City of Socorro. Thank you for joining today's meeting. Before the meeting begins, we would like to remind our guests to remove all hats and silence all electronic devices. No destructive behavior or outbursts will be tolerated, and violators are subject to ejection and possible prosecution.
Hola, mi nombre es Judy Rodríguez, secretaria de Planificación de la Ciudad de Socorro. Gracias por participar en la reunión de hoy. Antes de que comience la reunión, nos gustaría recordarles a nuestros invitados favor de quitarse los sombreros y silenciar todos los dispositivos electrónicos. No se tolerará ningún comportamiento perturbador ni exabrupto y los infractores estarán sujetos a expulsión y posible procesamiento.
Hello.
It is 6:02 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, Establishment of Quorum.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Here.
Alejandro Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Ivy Avalos.
Here.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 4, Public Comment.
Mayor, we have no speakers for public comment.
Okay, moving on to presentations. Item number 5, Presentation of Appreciation to the 2024 Harvest Festival sponsors.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Victor Reta, your Director for Special Events. We just finished having our annual Harvest Festival, which was a huge success. We'd like to thank, first and foremost, our City Council for seeing our vision and agreeing to help us create that vision for our public, as well as our administration for leading us in the way to have these events. It's a great way to offer free quality of life events to our city to impact them and make sure that they have quality family-friendly events for all to partake in. Part of our contribution to the program is honoring those who have agreed to become part of our sponsors for this event. Some of them are with us today, and we would like to give them a little token of appreciation. When we do call your name, we ask that you step forward and get your certificate with Mayor, and then we'll take a photo. First and foremost, we have the Rio Vista Neighborhood Walmart located at the corner of Rio Vista and Alameda. They are one of our 2024 sponsors. Next up, for our sponsors for this year, we do have Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's, specifically the East Side store, the closest to the city of Socorro. Raising Cane's on Zaragoza and Mountwood. They are a tremendous sponsor to the community. Not only did they sponsor this event, but they continue to sponsor mobile libraries across the county, and they do include Socorro as a stop. So thank you to Raising Cane's. We do have Las Vegas Party Rentals. They are not only a sponsor of this event, but they do come out every Socorro Sundays and provide activities for the children. They have been a community partner whose children also go here to school in the community, so they are one of our most trusted partners. We do thank them for agreeing to see our vision, offering specific child-friendly events, and we thank for all their work and their staff's work, because they also man the jumping balloons, so thank you to them. Next up, we have Enrique Cisneros Insurance, located off of Horizon Boulevard. Again, not only one of our event sponsors, but also sponsors our Youth Development League and Socorro Sundays as well. Next, we have Party Bowl Solutions. Party Bowl Event Solutions has been one of our project partners throughout the entire year. They also work with us on our large-scale events, which include the Independence Day Extravaganza. And they did come on board and supply tables, chairs, and also the canopies for this event. So we want to thank Priscilla and her team. Brunson's Pump, founded in Socorro. They've been with us for a very long time. I'm going to be 11 years in January, and they've been one of our vendors since then. So we're so appreciative to have community support from community families and startups. So we would like to thank Brunson's Pump for sponsoring and donating items for the event. And with that being said, to all of our sponsors, we're so grateful to have you guys in our community. You guys live in our community, work in our community. Your kids go to our programs, so we're so grateful that you put into those programs, but also trust us to also give you guys quality programs, and you truly are project partners, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes. Hi. Yes.
Now to regular agenda, public hearing and ordinances. Item number 14, public hearing of an ordinance approving a preliminary and final plat for Chavez Acres subdivision, being all of tract 9D, block 32, San Elizario Grant, El Paso County, Texas. It is 6:09 p.m. Public hearing is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
Would anybody like to speak on this item in the audience? As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 6:09 p.m. Item number 15, second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a preliminary and final plat for Chavez Acres subdivision, being all of tract 9D, block 32, San Elizario Grant, El Paso County, Texas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you. Item number 15 on the agenda is a request for preliminary and final plat approval for Chavez Acres subdivision, being all of tracts 9D, block 32, San Elizario Grant. The applicants are Eduardo and Rafael Chavez. Representative Sergio Castillo with SER Group. The property is approximately 9.5 acres in size. It is within the city of Socorro's 2-mile ETJ, thus not having a zoning district. Land use is vacant. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary and final plat request with the condition that engineering review comments are met before recording the final plat. Since the preparation of this staff report, the engineer has provided those updated final plat maps with the recommended changes. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to approve the preliminary and final plat with staff recommendations at their September 3rd Planning and Zoning meeting. The next slide shows the location of the property. Again, this is within the city of Socorro's 2-mile ETJ, just south of the city limits, south of Gladiola and Crisantemo Drive. The property is just on the edge of the city's 2-mile ETJ. It does not have any zoning. These photographs were taken from Crisantemo Drive. The aerial photograph shows the vacant lot, highlighted in yellow, and the surrounding vacant and agricultural land to the north, south, and north, south, and east, and this northeast is residential land uses. This is the preliminary plat. And the final plat, the property is being proposed to be split into 5 lots, ranging in size from a little over approximately 5.6 acres to the largest being 3.69 acres. In summary, the request is to approve a preliminary and final plat for Chavez Acres subdivision. With that, staff can answer any questions, and Mr. Castillo is also present should council have any questions.
Any questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent. And Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 16, public hearing of an ordinance approving a final plat and variance for a 46-foot maximum allowable building height and reduced parking space requirement of 1 space per 850 square feet of net leasable warehouse area for Horizon 10 Phase 1 subdivision, being a portion of Track 35 and a portion of Track 36 and all of Tracks 37 to 39, Lake Clark Survey 298, Socorro, Texas. It is 6:13 p.m. Public hearing is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
Would anybody like to speak on this item? As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 6:14 p.m. Item number 17, second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a final plat and variance for a 46-foot maximum allowable building height and reduced parking space requirement of 1 space per 850 square feet of net leasable warehouse area for Horizon 10 Phase 1 subdivision, being a portion of Track 35 and a portion of Track 36 and all of Tracks 37 to 39, Lake Clark Survey 298, Socorro, Texas.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 17, Horizon 10 Phase 1 subdivision, final plat request with zone request for variance. The property is located at 12400 Gateway East Boulevard. The property owner is Horizon 10 Partners, LLC. George Halul, SLI Engineering, is the representative. The property is 63.971 acres in size and currently zoned ICMUD. It is vacant. And in summary, and previous council action was the approval of the preliminary plat at your August 15th, 2024 meeting. In summary, the request is for approval of the final plat and variance request for Horizon 10 Phase 1 subdivision. At the Planning and Zoning meeting of September the 3rd, staff recommended approval of the final plat and variance request. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval and voted for the approval with staff recommendations. The property is located just on the edge of the city limits on the gateway. Approximately 2 miles southeast of the intersection of Horizon Boulevard and Gateway East Boulevard. The property is zoned ICMUD. This was rezoned from unclassified back in September 28th of 2023. Zoning to the north and east is not available as it is outside of the city limits. Just to the north, they still have a section of unclassified. To the west, a mixture of agricultural and R1 and a special use, and C2 to the south. These are photographs taken from Gateway East Boulevard, looking at the property. And an aerial photograph shows the vacant property with vacant lots to the north and south, some industrial development across an interstate, and then the mix of residential and vacant and agricultural lots to the west. This is a vicinity map from the submitted traffic impact analysis, showing where the traffic counts were taken. These are the existing traffic volumes and then the projected 2025 volumes once the project is complete. The development schedule has a project completed in December of 2025. And the final plat shows the one lot, 63.97 acres in size, access to the gateway. With that, staff can answer any questions, and again, the representative is present to answer. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. He was on the Zoom call, but is no longer on.
Any questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Item number 18, public hearing of an ordinance approving a replat for Athena West Replat G subdivision, being all of Lot 17 and 18, Block 9, Athena West subdivision. It is 6:18 p.m. Public hearing is now open.
No speakers, Mayor.
Would anybody like to speak on this item? As there are no speakers, public hearing is now closed at 6:18 p.m. Item number 19, second reading and adoption of an ordinance approving a replat for Athena West Replat G subdivision, being all of Lot 17 and 18, Block 9, Athena West subdivision.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 19, Athena West Replat G. This is the lots 17, 18, Block 9 of Athena West subdivision. Owner and representative is Berta A. Martinez. The lot is 5 acres in size and outside of the city limits, so no zoning designation. It is within the city of Socorro's 2-mile ETJ. The current land use is residential, and the property is being split into 3 separate lots. In summary, the request is for approval of a replat for Athena West Replat G. Staff recommends approval of the Athena West Replat G subdivision at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting with the conditions that the engineering review comments were met before recording the plat. Since that time, the engineer has submitted the revised replat. Planning and Zoning Commission voted for approval of the Athena West Replat G with staff recommendations at their September 3rd meeting. This is the location map showing the property south of, just outside of the city of Socorro's city limits within the 2-mile extraterritorial jurisdiction. No, I'm trying to go forward. Thank you. These are site photographs taken of the property from Sugden Road. The aerial photograph depicts the property highlighted in yellow, and it is showing the existing home, and it is surrounded by a mixture of residential and agricultural land. The preliminary plat showing the location again of the access and driveway and existing home. And the final plat showing the 3 lots. And with that, staff can answer any questions. And the engineer is also present to answer questions as well.
Questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Moving on to mayor and council, item number 20, discussion and action to approve up to 6 dead-end signs in Rancho Mirabal Estates.
Motion to approve.
This is my item. Residents of Mirabal Estates have expressed growing concerns about drivers using their neighborhood as a shortcut to avoid traffic on the way to Haciendas de Socorro. Many people have entered Rancho Viejo expecting a quick route, only to discover that the area is filled with dead ends, forcing them to turn back to North Loop. This situation has led to excessive speeding through the neighborhood, which raises fears that it could eventually result in an accident or even a tragic fatality. To address this issue, the city has installed a speed checker, which has been in place for approximately 3 months. While this measure aims to deter speeding, residents remain vigilant and hope for further solutions to ensure the community's safety. So installation of 6 dead-end signs is recommended. Any questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Aye. This is my neighborhood, so I'll be abstaining. Thank you.
Item number 21, discussion and action to direct city manager and/or her designated staff to order the striping of all city street humps with fresh paint. This initiative aims the visibility and ensures that drivers are alerted to an upcoming speed hump, thereby reducing the potential for accidents at all hours of the day.
Motion to approve. Second.
Ms.
Thank you.
Villalobos?
Driving through the neighborhood recently, most of our humps are either without paint or very, very light, not visible, especially for us at night that wear glasses and cannot, even though some of them have the hump sign, unfortunately, I think with the stripes on it is more visible. Thank you.
I got a question, quick question. Why is this item in the agenda? Wouldn't this be like a work order? Or what's the difference on bringing items of maintenance, I should say? Because I know I had that question about doing the same thing about in schools, but that would be considered a work order too, right?
Yes,
So does it make any difference if we bring items like,
correct. So a work order would suffice. Ms. Colon decided to place an item on the agenda.
And
So all we're gonna turn around is just create a work order.
okay?
and
But there's no need to bring them to the agenda.
well, I thought because of the magnitude of the request,
Correct.
the dollar amount and the magnitude.
And I think the objective is, we always worry about the entire city. It's just, we're limited to our resources and our personnel, right? And we have different projects going on, so I think we work with them systematically. But those are work orders that can be submitted to. Because we do worry about the entire city. It's not just,
Of course.
we pick and choose However, when the work orders are coming in, we do address them that way.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Would that be the same? Okay. I'll just, one second, let me read it so that everyone's aware of what we're speaking of. Item number 22, discussion and action to direct city manager and/or her designated staff to assess and grant the replacement of 2 inadequate street lights. Lights to be replaced with LED lights for better visibility at night. First light to be replaced is by 652 La Poblana Drive, light number KS 18672, and the other is by 11525 Madrigal Road, light number KS 18947. In addition, designate to inquire if an additional LED light can be added at the beginning of La Poblana Drive near Socorro Road. Currently, there is no light.
Motion to approve. Second.
Ms. Villalobos?
I'm sorry, okay. Again, thank you. The residents there were complaining that there's a lot of speeding vehicles through there. The lights are too dim, so that this is why they were requesting that they be more lights. I suggested we probably change them over to LED so they can have visible. And then there's coming in from Socorro, where that's where the speed usually initiates, into La Poblana. There is no street light there.
Mr.
And I-
Martinez,
One more.
you have another?
No, I'm sorry, I thought I had included 2 street stop signs, make it a 4-way. Because that's why they're speeding through there, because it's a 2-way, and they speed right through Madrigal and La Poblana. But if that's something that we can do with a work order, then I'll just submit it that way.
Correct, I didn't change your.
No, I'm not saying anybody.
It's on there, it just wasn't read.
Oh,
It's
okay.
there's a second part to it.
Where was it?
Oh,
Right here, I'm sorry, it's right here. Also in response to concerns from
Oh, I
constituents
see.
regarding traffic light, the purpose of upgrading the intersection of the Pablo Drive and Madrigal Street from a 2-way stop to a 4-way stop. This change aims to provide clear traffic control system and reduce the potential for accidents. That was,
Mr.
And
Darte?
I do want to add that moving forward, any troubleshooting that El Paso Electric, once a light is out, they are retrofitting it to LEDs. They're no longer using the other, so any troubleshoot, but that does come associated with a cost, right? And it's not cheap. And they don't service it, they don't have maintenance in-house. So when they go down, they have to go out and request a quote for somebody to come and fix the LED retrofits. They're working towards getting their own maintenance department for that, but right now they don't have.
Is there a more or less time frame that they'll be doing, or we don't know that yet?
No, so they troubleshoot them as they go down, right?
Mhm.
So if a light is reported, El Paso Electric comes out and they retrofit it. LED if it's no longer working. Like if they have to replace the bulb, they
No.
won't be able to replace it, so they retrofit it to LED.
That they're,
Eventually, the entire city's gonna go LED,
right.
right? But because of the cost associated with it, that's why you're going towards troubleshooting the ones that come out first and making that transition.
Okay.
So you don't feel the impact all at once.
Mhm. You have a,
no, thank you.
Mayor, may I?
Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jim Martinez, City Attorney. This one, the prior 2 items, I think were under the threshold. This one, though, I think the council should be concerned about the lame duck provision in the charter that says
Oh, I see.
council can't enter into a contract for any kind of public improvement, any kind of public work if the amount exceeds $3,000 and you're within 45 days of a general election. This one, in consulting with the city manager, this one probably exceeds $3,000. Even if we're just talking about the 2 lights, and we are certainly within 45 days of a general election. You've got a couple of options, and by the way, Ms. Colon-Villalobos, I didn't see the stop sign in the agenda language, the stop sign items. I don't think that's part of the item, I'm not sure.
it's under the summary
Some-
as also.
It may be in the summary, but it's not on the agenda item. The agenda is what provides notice to the public. If it's not in the agenda item, I would advise council not to consider it. Okay, so even excluding the two stop sign items, you've got two lights, and just because of the new lights and poles, it may exceed 3,000, particularly because El Paso Electric has to farm that out. In light of that, I would suggest two things. Number one, you either change the motion to exclude the part about grant the replacement, just instruct the administration, look, go assess it, bring us a proposal, tell us what you think it'll cost, we'll act on it then. We'll approve it, or maybe we won't approve it if we don't like the price. Or number two, if you wanted just to leave it as it is, I would say postpone it to the first meeting in November, after the election.
Right.
Then I'll change my motion to postpone it to the first meeting after the runoff.
Second.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry, I had
Did
a
you have
question.
something
Yes.
to say?
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So we're not changing out the poles, just so you know, it's just the light. Just the light. And I don't know how much light, a new pole with a light would cost. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
so normally what happens is that council will get with me, we'll send out an email to El Paso Electric. They bring the price, right? There's a price range that I feel comfortable, like, okay, we can do that under street maintenance. If we feel it's excessive, hey, I need council's approval for that. But right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you, we haven't assessed or know what the price is for this.
okay, okay. And then on the stop signs, those are relatively inexpensive?
But you'd have to bring that,
Again,
it's
stop
not in the-
signs, those
No,
aren't,
and I'm asking for,
We can talk about that on the agenda.
Yeah, I think I would say I wouldn't deliberate the stop signs because you haven't provided notice to
okay,
the
okay.
citizenry that we're going to discuss that.
And so, moving forward, and I've asked this many, many times, if there's something wrong with my items, please let me know ahead of time, because you approved it, and you approved it, you approved the other ones. If there's something that is not correct, please allow me to correct it
The-
prior to coming here.
Yes, ma'am. The item that I saw that you submitted was correct. I don't think there was anything wrong with what you submitted.
Okay,
That's not what made it to the agenda, but the item you submitted is fine.
okay, thank you.
any other questions?
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares. Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
Yes,
Mr. Martinez, anything on 23 through 25?
Motion to delete 23 to 25?
Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
yes,
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Ruben Reyes.
Yes.
Cesar Nevares.
Yes.
Alejandro Garcia.
Aye.
Rudy Cruz is absent, and Ivan Colom Villalobos.
yes.
Meeting adjourns at 6:33 PM. Good night.